Hey everybody, what's up from Roll, Minnesota, your state of skate. Butch Lehman coming to you from the garage, and last time I was out here, I did a video teaching 5 of the basic tricks that every skater needs to learn, and today we're going to continue that series, but today we're talking about switch-ups. So we're going to grab some of the switch-ups over here on the down box. That'll be like our base point. Then we'll take them to the A-frame box, and you know what, I think we'll even, just for good measure, get some switch-ups over here on the coping, maybe even up on the sub box. Anyway, I need to get the skates on, get warmed up. Should be a pretty good time today, and I appreciate you all, as always, for joining me. You're watching Roll Minnesota.
We're rolling. Welcome to Roll Minnesota.
You're watching Roll Minnesota.
You're watching Roll Minnesota.
Minnesota seal of approval.
Yeah, we're watching Roll Minnesota. Subscribe.
Alright guys, so like I was saying earlier, I have 5 switch-ups for you today, and just a quick disclaimer, these aren't necessarily the easiest switch-ups out there. Most of them are fairly beginner-friendly, but they all have a specific purpose behind them. Every one of these switch-ups is going to allow you to graduate up to bigger and better tricks. So we're gonna go through all 5 of these, and the first one we're starting with is Acid to Royale. Now, I would first recommend getting a few practice goes in with your acid grind. You can get loosened up, get your center of balance figured out, and then we'll add the switch up in from there. Also, if you're not comfortable with acid, you can also do the switch up out of a porn star grind or out of a Mizu. So you can really pick your poison with whichever grind feels the most comfortable. I'm gonna go with acid though, because that foot is already centered in the front of the sole foot, and so that H block switch is much easier to do, in my humble opinion. Now, one of the other reasons why I chose this particular switch up is it's also one that's great to learn top side. So you can go from a top acid to a back Royale grind. And we're gonna try to get a couple of these switch ups over here on the A-frame box as well, since it is a longer hold. And so it feels like you've earned it a little bit more than over on the 12-foot down ledge. Now, one last note on the Acid to Royale grind is this makes the perfect transition into a couple more difficult switch-ups. You can go Acid to Kind grind and get an alley-oop topside plugged in. Or if you're doing the top Acid, you can always go to True Spin Mizu. So either way, you're working in a slightly more difficult combination. And I think for a lot of people, this is a natural progression point. All right guys, for switch up number 2, we're gonna go to the H blocks, and this one's going to be a front Royale to alley-oop top horn. And I chose this one for 2 reasons. 1, we gotta get something starting with an H block trick this time, but 2, this really is the perfect pivot switch up, where you have your back to the obstacle, and for a lot of beginners, they really struggle with that, but this one is fairly easy to do, because all you gotta do is just twist your legs a little bit once you get into that Royale position. Now, one of the things a lot of beginners struggle with this trick is they end up getting too far over the obstacle, they miss their lock or end up rolling out. And in order to avoid that, you need to shift your weight, shift your body position to the inside of the obstacle. That's really the secret to top sides. But I think this is the perfect trick because again, it has those progression steps. Once you get comfortable switching up into the alley-oop top horn, you can go to alley-oop Topsoul, alley-oop top acid, maybe even alley-oop fish brain, and all of those are very attractive tricks. What I think we're gonna do though is take it over to the sub box to get on something a little different on a quarter pipe, and then there's the bonus trick that I wanna do, and we'll talk about that one in a second. I gotta tell you, it feels really gratifying when you lock into that alley-oop top horn. It's one of my favorite tricks. But one of the things that I wanted to allude to is once you get the Royale grind down and are able to switch up out of that, you can do a quick tap on a backslide, just 1 foot, and be able to pivot out of it. So all of the pivot grinds really open up from having that Royale comfortably done. One of my favorites is the backslide to alley-oop Topsoul, and I love doing that on quarter pipes, so we're gonna get one of those too. Let's talk about switch up number 3. This one is Topsoul to true Topsoil. And I know that sounds challenging, especially if you're a beginner out there, because likely one of those 2 tricks is going to be switch. But that's exactly why I chose this trick, is this is a great segue into learning switch tricks, which is something that most skaters are going to want at some point in their skating progression. So once you're comfortable with your topsouls and you're up there in that topsoul position, it's really just a matter of weight redistribution. You want to put most of the weight on your H-block foot and then gradually transfer it over to the sole foot. And then once you get comfortable doing that, you can make that transition a lot more natural and a lot more fluid. And that's really where the practice comes in. We're going to take it over to the A-frame. I think that's going to be a better obstacle to demonstrate this on because it is a longer grind. Like I was saying earlier, this trick is a good progression point to get into switch tricks, and on that note, we're gonna switch things up and start with the switch topsoul. That's a lot of switches. But left foot topsoul into right foot true spin topsoil. Hopefully we're able to knock this one out easily enough. Trick number 4, we're gonna slide with our legs crossed. That's right, this is a unity variation, and this one's gonna be challenging for some of you out there because not everybody has the same sole foot or H-block dominant foot as I do. But the whole point is when you get through your progression and you're learning more difficult switch-ups, at some point or another you're going to have to wrap, unwrap, rewrap your legs in uncomfortable ways. And so if you can get comfortable switching up out of unity variations, that's going to take the edge off a little bit. So this one is backside unity to sole grind, and we can also flip the script and start with the sole grind and then go to backside unity. Either way works. Either way, you're still crossing the legs. Now, I've talked to a number of people that struggle to switch up out of unity variations, and a little pro tip I would offer you is to get over the obstacle, get on top of it more than you think you need to, and that way your center of balance is in a place where you can give a little hop, and that's when you can unwrap those legs and put them where they need to be. We're also gonna take it now over to the quarter pipe, and one of my favorite tricks to do is an alley-oop unity, or a front savannah, depending on where you are and what you call it, into alley-oop topsoul. And that's another one where you gotta wrap and unwrap, but that's the whole point of this switch up. Like I said, that's one of my favorite switch ups to do, and it was nice to get the 270 out. That's just the chef's kiss on top of it all. We've got one switch up left. For trick number 5, we're gonna start out with an alley-oop grind, an alley-oop porn star. And for a lot of the beginners out there, this one is going to be challenging for a number of reasons. But that is the whole point of this trick, is to spin into the grind, but then keep spinning with the switch up in the same direction. So on that note, this one is alley-oop porn star to outspin topsoul. Just keep spinning that same direction. Now, just as before, you're going to want to get comfortable on the alley-oop porn star, get that first grind locked in. And I think a baby step that is helpful for a lot of people is to switch up into a back royale, or for others of you out there, a back far, because that's just a small commitment. And then once you feel comfortable with that, you can go full commitment into that outspin topsoul. In terms of progression, there are so many tricks out there that require spinning, whether you're spinning on the way in or spinning in the actual switch up. So you gotta start somewhere, and I think this is a good place to begin. Now we're also gonna take it to the quarter pipe, and I think up on the sub box is a perfect place for this one, demonstrating the commitment, but also just a fun obstacle to skate. Anyway guys, those are my 5 switch ups I think every skater should learn, especially beginners or intermediate skaters that are looking to progress to the next level. I encourage you though to tell me which switch ups I should try down in the comments below, because I want to make a follow-up video where I put some of your switch ups to the test. And I'll be honest, I'm not great at switch ups. That's not my strong point when it comes to blading, but I welcome the challenge. Anyway guys, I'm Butch Lehman of Roll, Minnesota, reminding you all to stay safe, stay healthy, and get out there and do some rollerblading. It's been fun hanging with you today, but I'm sore, I need a rest, and I need some tacos. We'll see y'all with the next video. Till then, peace everybody.